It's easy to focus on the here and now, on this place, lit by California gold where East has met West for more than a century. Everyone knows the significance of being here. But the essence of this Rose Bowl is defined by how they got here. Let's go back, all the way to September. A time when hope was high, will was tested, and lost.
I'm just wondering the moxie of USC. They are a powerhouse, and they have not played like it.
As the leaves began to turn in Happy Valley and the sun-soaked California days started to wane, the Nittany Lions and the Trojans were written off.
What a catch! Touchdown USC!
Yard by yard, they found their grit,
Brad Haley will score!
their resolve.
Oh, it's picked off! And that might send the folks home. And Penn State is going to get their signature win.
Your trick, I guess.
The hearts of two legendary programs had been reignited.
They brought back the fun. They brought back the excitement. The Penn State Nittany Lions are Big Ten champions.
2 months spent scavenging for wins has led them here. The granddaddy of them all. The season's two best stories. Penn State and USC. The convergence of their comebacks. In the 103rd Rose Bowl game.
On a cool, overcast day in Pasadena, be one of the coolest temperatures at kickoff time in the history of this great game, the 103rd edition. Champions of the Big Ten, runners-up of the Pac-12 South, the 9-3 USC Trojans. And welcome inside this great building, Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. Our honor, as always, to bring you this special game. Kirk, if you'd said October 1st is going to be Penn State and USC in this beautiful setting, anybody would have said, you're crazy. Both teams are reeling. It's incredible how they've converged here in their two comeback stories.
You could make a really strong case for both these teams that they were the hottest teams in the country when the regular season ended. And you're right, from where they navigated their way from to the end was incredible. And how fitting to have these two teams play on this setting. And I don't care what era we're in, BCS, playoff, there's something sacred about this game and this stadium and this setting. It's great to have SC and Penn State both here.
It's in SC's DNA to expect to go to the Rose Bowl, but this ends a 7-year drought for the program. That's a long time. For Penn State, consider their players who signed on as an act of faith with those sanctions looming, wondering, Kirk, if they ever had a chance to be eligible to play in this game, much less would it be achievable. What a moment for them as well. This amazing setting. This is just a lot to handle if you're a quarterback. Maintain your poise, make good decisions. The final anxious moments before the Lions and the Trojans take this beautiful field.
These teams are anxious to get out there. They've been watching all these bowl games. We talked earlier about how you can make a pretty strong argument. They ended the year the hottest, two of the hottest teams in the country.
They've been watching Rose Bowls their whole life.
Yeah, this is their chance.
McSorley told his teammates in a huddle earlier, our chance to put ourselves in history. We got one chance to do it. USC's 7-year Rose Bowl drought is over as the Trojans try for their 25th win in this game. Most of any school. Let's hear from James Franklin with Tom Rinaldi.
Chris, thank you very much. Coach, two teams that haven't lost since the end of September. If you're successful today, what will the difference be?
I'm not concerned about what the end result will be or rankings or any of those types of things. I'm just concerned about playing well today, representing Penn State the right way. Really proud of these kids and these coaches.
Good luck today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Let's go across to Sam.
Well, Coach, your team has already shown they can overcome a lot of adversity, but what do you think will be the biggest challenge they face from this Penn State team today?
Oh, stopping a high potent offense with a great quarterback and a terrific running back in Barkley. Our defense has got a major obstacle today.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Time to get to it, Chris.
It is indeed, Samantha. Clay Helton hired by Pat Hayden just at the end of last season. So his first full year as head coach, he's gotten the Trojans here. And there is Sam Darnold. Besides the physical gifts you talked about, Kurt, his poise, incredible. He's a prodigy, both physically and I think emotionally as a QB.
Especially as young as he is.
Meister tucks it into the corner. Sanders slips and will try to track it down. Dangerously bouncing around inside the 5, and it's covered at the 3. So the Lions dodge a disaster, but we'll start with awful field position.
Yeah, he misjudges his football, and because of the awkward spin and rotation on the ball, it was like a wedge. It bounced away from him. I don't know if he slipped a bit there at the end, but I think he just misjudged the ball. As I said, the ball had a kind of a funky rotation on it, like a backspin.
Lefty kicker.
Yeah, exactly. But he's very fortunate to get on top of the ball, but the Lions start their first possession inside their own 5-yard line.
Well, Meister does his job, and now McSorley lined up in the end zone. The Lions' very first play. Play action. Takes a deep shot. Receiver breaks it off, and it's intercepted on the far side by Iman Marshall. So miscommunication and an instant break for the Trojans.
How ironic, Chris. You and I and our crew talking to Clancy Pendergrass yesterday, the defensive coordinator from SC, and he said, I've never worked so hard in 3 weeks with a secondary on trying to deal with the deep ball. Miscommunication, the outcut by Tompkins, who's in there because Blacknall's been suspended, cuts off the route. McSorley's expecting him to go deep, and there's Marshall, who's worked with the rest of these DBs to locate the football on the deep ball and go up and find it. He did exactly what they've been trained to do for these last 3 weeks on the first play of the game.
Talked about how McSorley's avoided interceptions, only 2 in the win streak. 3rd on the season for Marshall, and now Justin Davis lined up as the tailback to the right of Darnold, goes in motion. Darnold flips it over the middle, incomplete. It was a high throw intended for Deontay Burnett. Plenty of adrenaline with the quarterback in the early stages.
Absolutely. What a great opportunity with great field position. Sam Darnold, look at him, 6'4", 225 pounds. Brings a lot to the table as a quarterback. Creativity. He will scramble, make plays happen. You'll see the arm talent and that it factor. His players believe in him from the very first time he became the starter in Salt Lake. They believe that he'll make right decisions and give him a chance to win.
It's Justin Davis, the tailback in the pistol formation, and the youngster who's now healthy after being nagged by an ankle injury much of the season. Finally 100%, a short gain.
Now, this Penn State defense has been tested this year through a lot of injuries, most notably to the linebackers. Jason Kabinda, Brandon Bell missed some football. That's where they really had a difficult loss in Ann Arbor. They have grown since they have come back to the Ohio State game. So much talk about McSorley in the offense in this winning streak. The defense has been playing lights out as well.
Trojans an excellent 3rd down offense all year. They need 8. Justin Davis motions out. Darnold chased, flushed, and fires. Complete. Smith-Schuster's got it, and a 1st down inside the 30.
It's exactly what we showed in the open. And when he scrambles on 3rd down, Penn State rushed 3, dropped 8 into coverage. It's very hard to be able to find that opening, but you see up in the top right, great job by Juju Smith-Schuster just sitting down. He's used to the quarterback creating and buying time. He looks around left and right, finds that opening, sits down, and they convert for the 1st down.
Well, they got 25 on 3rd and 10. Now play action on 1st down. This is Deontay Burnett, caught up in traffic and spun down for a loss by Malik Golden, the safety. Chick-fil-A impact players on this side now.
A lot of them to choose from. You got to only pick 2 from that USC offense. There's so many playmakers. Ronald Jones, who is wearing that number 4 because he's so explosive. Juju Smith-Schuster gets a lot of recognition, but number 1, Darius Rogers, a guy to watch, and Sickles and Kabinda, the leaders of this defense. Very, very impressed with him yesterday in our meeting, and they're kind of the intangible.
There goes Adoree Jackson in the game. The corner's already got a pick, plays offense as well, but Darnold over the middle, touchdown! Right over the middle to Deontay Burnett, and they do cash in the pick.
They felt they could attack the middle of the Penn State defense because of the safeties being split. Here he works to the middle. Nobody accounts for him. Darnold does a nice job of recognizing him getting behind the linebackers between the safeties, creates and then shows that arm strength. So the vision downfield, big opening in the middle, great recognition by Darnold, and a nice job of slipping out there by Barnett.
Meister for the PAT, and the 25th touchdown pass in this win streak for Darnold. As the Trojans move it from midfield to the end zone, converting on a 3rd and long to set up the touchdown pass. Deontay Burnett, 7-zip, Southern California. For Meister to boot it away. Remember, the first kickoff was an adventure for Miles Sanders. This time he takes it a few yards deep, and the freshman will bring it out. Sidesteps a couple of men and gets across the 20. And McSorley with his first keeper runs into traffic. Tom?
Chris, after the 2 early interceptions from McSorley, interesting. Coaches gathered him and the receivers alongside the bench and said 10 seconds, 10 seconds. No one spoke for that period of time. They bowed their heads, then opened their eyes. Coaches said, there it is, it's gone, it's done, to try to wipe away the difficult beginning here to McSorley. We'll see if he's able to gain his composure, Chris.
Interesting tactic, Tom. Thank you. On 2nd down, McSorley still 0 for 3, Kirk.
Yeah, what's happening right now is USC is playing with 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers, 6 men in kind of that box area. And with Penn State's offensive style, they've got to be able to establish the line of scrimmage and run the football. SC's trying to take away the threat of that big pass play that Penn State's had so often and try to get them to be able to see if they can prove that they can run the ball against that 6-man front.
3rd down's been a nightmare for this offense, among the worst in the country. They need 10 yards, and McSorley's under immediate pressure. Flushed out, fires along the sidelines. It's incomplete. Janae Harris came on the blitz, and it's a 3 and out.
Yeah, they're very, very aggressive. They're going to bring a lot of people, whether it's linebackers or safeties. You see the linebackers are walked up, but here comes a blitz here, trying to create confusion. They feel that if they can get Penn State to 3rd and 7 or longer, Penn State will struggle. It's been a problem for them all year when they get to those situations with this style of offense. Penn State rather be on schedule, that 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4. And if they are 3rd and long, it is really tough against SC.
Dangerous Jackson back as a punt returner, and the freshman Blake Gillikin kicks a low kick backspin. Not very long, but at least it doesn't allow number 2 a chance to hurt them with a return. USC will have the ball at the 43. Well, the Trojans began with a thud, a dud down in Texas. That's Brown, who was the quarterback at a 52-6 loss to Alabama. Didn't score a touchdown against Stanford. They made the change in quarterback before Utah. Hadn't started that bad since 2001. But Darnold and the Trojans offense, the defense got stout, and they ran off a big win streak. And Darnold was the conference freshman of the year.
Think about being 1 and 3 with the pressure that SC faces every year to try to win a Pac-12 championship. And for them to be able to turn that and go on to win 8 straight, considering where the teams they beat and where they had to beat them, man, that's a heck of an accomplishment to get here to Pasadena.
From the pocket, Darnold delivers far side. Smith-Schuster will be wrestled out after about an 8-yard gain there by Jarvis Miller.
A lot of what Darnold would do is getting back in rhythm and getting the ball out of his hands pretty quickly. A lot of that short intermediate throws. When you see the bigger plays is when he usually steps up and creates, and his receivers see that he's scrambling and they start to improvise themselves. But most of their passing game is in rhythm for Darnold and his receivers, getting the ball out quickly.
And 2nd and 1, Jones. Again, we're number 4 today. Moves the 6 to the Penn State 45. Darnold is a very serious guy, is a perfectionist, but he's got that it factor. Even as a redshirt freshman, even when he barely had started games, he had the respect of the veterans on this team.
I think it's just how he carries himself. He has, I think, a belief in himself. You know, he was an outstanding high school point guard. I mean, an elite high school point guard in basketball, and I just think that he has a belief even when he wasn't starting.
Jones had to dodge heavy traffic in the backfield. It was quick penetration there, but the Lions defense, you know, against the run, they've been tough so far.
Brent Fry, as a defensive coordinator, believes in rotating a lot of different bodies up on that defensive line. They're very athletic, and I think Kevin Gibbons, the freshman, he's undersized but has the ability to shoot a gap, and that's what he's able to do there in that last play.
Darnold again so effective on the move, makes the Lions miss and scoots for a nice gain on second down. It'll set up third and very short.
You know, when he starts to, he's scrambling a lot to his right. Brandon Bell right here, what he's got to be able to do is force him back inside. Do not let him get outside of you. Force him back where there's blue jerseys. Instead, he bites on that fake to the inside. That gives him a chance to pick up 8 yards. When you've got an athletic quarterback, you can't let him do that to you. You've got to stay to the outside, leverage the football, and force him back to the inside where you have 2 or 3 other defenders.
Pressure. Darnold flushed again. They left Davis alone, though. Makes a man miss and dives for a first down near the 21.
I think Brandon Bell may have gotten lost here in coverage. There's a lot of man-to-man working across, but watch Bell 11. He steps up. When he steps up, nobody accounts for Davis slipping out of the backfield. So you had a lot of man-to-man coverage. There's him scrambling again, buying just enough time to find Davis, who's probably better as a receiver out of the backfield.
Jackson is in the game now.
What a weapon he is down in this area.
It was interesting that he took the defensive bus out here for the team picture yesterday, rode back on the offensive bus. Said, hey guys, don't forget about me.
In the backfield now.
He's got it. Hit hard as he gets down inside the 5 as a ball carrier, as a pass catcher, and as a returner. He's as good as anybody that's ever played this game.
Well, Jabril Peppers got most of the attention nationally for being one of the probably the most versatile player in the country because he plays so many positions. You could make a very, very strong case for Adoree Jackson with his ability to lock people down as a corner, punt returner, and also getting involved in offense. Doesn't really take a backseat to Peppers or anybody else.
Fewer touches on offense, but he'd like to change that today. And as a returner, again, he just scares you to death. Second and goal. Darnold looks left, fires off the hands of Darius Rogers, almost intercepted. Grant Haley was in the neighborhood.
I thought Brandon Smith may have had a chance there. He just could not find the ball off the deflection. Great job of jumping the route by 15 Haley. He gets in there to get his hands on it right there. Boy, it looked like Brandon Smith just caught his eyes on the ball just a second too late, and it slipped through his fingers. And that's an interception for the Lions down deep in their own territory.
Third and goal. Jackson in the game to the right of Darnold. Motions out. Quarterback, no chance to look that direction. Heavy pressure, just jumps and throws it at the feet of Rogers. Evan Schwan provided the pressure, fourth down.
You got to admire Penn State. This is who they are. They bring 7 this time. Bring the safety, bring the 2 inside linebackers. I mean, they're all coming right up the middle, right into the face. Darnold does a good job just somehow to avoid it, jump up in the air, and just sling the football.
You see both quarterbacks capable of improvisation. Now, was that a good decision there? He got away with it.
Pretty athletic move. I don't know if it was a great decision. At least he threw it low, so Penn State couldn't intercept it.
Burmeister, who missed earlier from 51. This is a 22-yard chip shot, and the Trojans march it 53 yards in 12 plays and take a double-digit lead. The Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual. Guys from Southern California on top early.
Trace McSorley yet to complete a pass. 0 for 4 with 2 interceptions. You see Penn State try to establish that run game here.
Meister boots it deep, and Sanders this time will take a knee. They did start out 2-2. They were taken behind the woodshed in the Big House by the Wolverines and basically are written off. Come back against Minnesota, beat Maryland, and this play that changed their season. The block by Mark Allen of the field goal. Grant Haley scoops it up and scores. That seemed to elevate their confidence. They went on to win 9 in a row and come from behind in Indy to beat the Badgers for the conference championship.
And I think Joe Moorhead, who's there in the white, I think they also changed their offense and how they attacked with the deep ball in the running game.
Zone read. Barkley has to bounce it. McSorley, the quarterback out there, as a lead blocker. Picks up about 5.
McSorley, a high school safety, he's not afraid at all to get out there and mix it up. In fact, he was telling us yesterday a lot of teams, it's kind of a chip on his shoulder, a lot of teams offer him just as a safety. So he sees his running back getting out there, he's going to try to pick up a block there. And he's not just going to olay it, he's looking to put somebody on their back.
He signed with Vanderbilt when James Franklin was the coach there. When Franklin took this job, he didn't feel good about staying in Nashville. Said, hey, coach, you need a quarterback? He said, yeah, come along to Happy Valley. Middle option look. He pitches it to Barkley. It's a little bit of a wrinkle in the Lions running game. It's been effective so far.
Well, it's a nice call when you have man-to-man. You can get the ball out to the edge on the perimeter against man-to-man. The corner's being run off. See those first 4 games where they're still trying to, new offense, new quarterback, trying to find an identity, and what they've done in these last 9 games.
It's been a problem area, though. They're one of the worst teams in the country at moving the chains on 3rd and short. Only need a yard. High snap. McSorley retreats, and that was trouble from the start. Early pressure by Nwosu. It was the tight end Gesicki, but again, they have a lot of trouble on 3rd and short.
Yeah, they get a push up the middle. I mean, watch USC, what they do up front in the offensive line. Watch the center here, Gaia, just get pushed back into the backfield. You mentioned Nwosu coming there to the left, and all you can do is McSorley. They thought they might fool them on 3rd and short, get them to kind of bait them, and then dump it out to the tight end Gesicki, but unable to do it.
So the dangerous Jackson back to receive the punt from Gillikin. It's a good one. Jackson could have a chance here at the 15. Adoree Jackson gets a block on the edge. Look out! Jackson just nudged out of bounds by the punter Gillikin. This place just came alive as number 2 does what he does with the ball in his hands. Here's the reverse. Rodgers, a flea flicker. Back to Darnold, who flips it down short to Jalen Green. And Green in space. Still running. He would be the emergency quarterback today, but a brilliant receiver as well.
Came in as a quarterback, but an athlete, 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Inglewood, California. And I think Penn State might have thought that they were setting this up for a toss back to go to Juju Smith, but he's got an entire convoy of guys in front of him. And then how about the movement? And once he gets out there, cutting back against the grain, 2 or 3 different Penn State defenders missing him.
Jackson in motion. Darnold looks that way. Now fires a low ball, incomplete. T. Martin, the play caller for us, he's having some fun now, Kirk.
He's got a lot of weapons to work with, especially when he brings number 2 into the game.
There's T. Martin, the former Tennessee quarterback who won a national championship for the Volunteers the year after Peyton Manning left. Really a bright future for him as well. Coaching.
Yeah, a lot of people feel he is one of the bright young minds in the game and will very soon be a head coach himself.
Final 33 seconds of a first quarter dominated by USC. Darnold fires it incomplete. That was right off the hands of Burnett. So 3rd and long again.
So many teams around the country using the run-pass option where you give the quarterback a chance to evaluate the defense. And if they're disguising and they go to a look after the snap, if they're overcommitted to stopping the running game, you just toss it out to the receiver. Time Sam Darnold saw 2 of his receivers up to the top and felt that he had one of them could make the block and get the ball to the receiver. And Burnett that time just dropped the football. That would have been a nice gain.
Once again, Trojans face a 3rd and long. Lions defense in desperate need of a stop here. But Darnold throws a dart, incomplete. Smith-Schuster went up high. Again, good coverage there by Jordan Smith. It is 4th down.
I'll tell you, Penn State, they're doing a pretty good job in coverage. Jordan Smith, 2nd time. We saw him on the tight end. This time he's matched up, this time with a bigger receiver. Good move to the inside. Ball is thrown on the money. Just doesn't squeeze it.
Smith did a good job getting his hand out there to knock it loose. And here comes Bormeister. 1 of 2 so far. This from 43. And he's able to curl it through. So USC has 13 points. Penn State has run 11 plays in the first quarter with 21 seconds to go. This one's going to be a shootout. Penn State's got to get the weapons out and firing here.
Again, McSorley, now he's 0 for 5. Has not completed a pass yet. This first quarter is almost over. But as you said, they've been used to slow starts, whether it was the Big Ten championship game, the game against Michigan State at the end of the year, kind of sluggish in both of those games in the first half.
Burmeister has been very busy. He kicks it off for a 4th time, and Sanders just a half-yard in. Takes a knee. First down throw, and it's complete far side to Chris Godwin. That offensive line is 3 freshmen and a sophomore, and then the senior graduate, the center, Brian Gaia.
Yeah, their left tackle spot alone, they've had 3 different season-ending injuries at that left tackle spot. They had to move Ryan Bates, who was playing at left guard, 52, out to left guard. So they've been mixing and matching all year long.
Finally, in the final play of the opening quarter, McSorley's first completion. But USC in charge here, 13-0 after 1 quarter in Pasadena.
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl, where SC leads Penn State 13-0. Right now, though, a little wardrobe change for some of these SC players. We told you earlier in the game from Tom Rinaldi on the Penn State sideline, the guys were having some issues with footing. Well, right now you can see them behind me working on cleats, specifically for wide receivers and DBs for obvious reasons. But Juju Smith-Schuster and Deontay Burnett getting new ones to try and get better footing out there, Chris.
Thanks, Samantha. This is a very familiar field, SC. They played here in November against UCLA and beat the Bruins. McSorley continues to have a frustrating start. His pass just rejected at the line.
And they walked both the linebackers, Hutchins and Smith, up inside, and then they ended up bringing them right up here. They walked up. See how they both eventually are going to get up in there, get a good push. And eventually it was the big linebacker, Hutchins, who's really come on. His senior year, only time to be able to become a starter. They've moved him to that middle spot, and as we said earlier, he's become the real leader and the communicator to get everybody lined up and right.
They call him the defensive quarterback, and he got the hand up to bat it down. And again, Penn State faces a 3rd down, needing 8. McSorley this time has great protection, fires over the middle and complete up near midfield to Chris Godwin. And finally, the Lions fans who tried to create a partial whiteout here, something to cheer about for the offense.
Yeah, he gets pressure from his right, and he just kind of sensed it. And he just, if you see him in a pocket, watch how he works himself back to the left. He sees the pressure coming, doesn't panic and get out of the pocket. That takes a good arm to go all the way back to his right and find one of his favorite targets, Godwin. That is a crucial 3rd down pickup for Penn State, considering how this game has felt here early.
It's the first real downfield completion from McSorley now, who's just 2 for 8. Barkley hesitated, tried to bounce it, and gets dropped for a 5-yard loss there by Porter Gustin.
See, this is the challenge that Penn State is facing against this SC defensive front 7, is they're not getting a push. Watch the battle up front, especially over here on the right side. The true freshman, Connor McGovern. See how he's getting kind of a stalemate there against Green. Then they set the edge. Boy, right now, SC is winning that battle at the line of scrimmage, making it hard to get into that rhythm that Penn State's used to getting into with the running of Barkley and the big play off the play action.
Gustin, then long-haired, looks like a kind of a Matthews brother out there, doesn't he? Flexing. McSorley chased, fires. Godwin's got it at the 45 of USC. So McSorley buying time and creating downfield.
And USC is not slowing down. This time they bring not only linebackers, they walk up a safety. Tell, number 7, he's also bringing it. They're coming after McSorley. How about the answer? Running away, buying time, and then eventually making that throw. We've got to make a few plays in the passing game with him creating to slow down that aggressive nature that SC is playing with here early.
2 passes to Godwin have moved the Lions into Penn State territory. Now Barkley, who's a terrific receiver, shakes free. When you average 15 yards a carry as a running back, you are a dangerous threat. Lions inside the 30 now.
They brought the linebacker Hutchings. Then it was just a matter of getting the ball to the outside. You got 3 different receivers to be able to make blocks. Here's the blitz. Once you get it out there, now look up to the top of the screen. You've got the tight end, Gesicki. You got another receiver in Tompkins. Hamilton's out there. You got a man on a man, and you give the big tailback room to work.
McSorley, after a rugged start, the 2 early picks, now 4 of 5 on this drive. Andre Robinson is the back, spelling Barkley. He's got it, and he muscles forward for a nice gain.
The big fella Robinson, as you say, spells him. We'll also see Miles Sanders, a freshman, Mark Allen. They've got 4 backs that they believe in. And
that's enough spelling, though, because Barkley's back in the game.
Back in. We're down 13. 26 needs to get back in the game. But they do. They've got great depth in that position. But, yeah, you want to keep 26 on the field as much as you can.
We saw his danger as a pass receiver. Lions again get up to the line, get a look, and then McSorley looks over at Moorhead. Joe Mo, they call him, the play caller. From the pocket, long throw behind Tompkins. Again, they tried to get it to number 3, but they're misfiring that combination.
Yeah, he's not been able to really find Tompkins yet. But you got to love Joe Moorhead's system that he's brought to State College. Very, very different from anything that James Franklin has run as a head coach, whether it's at Vandy or State College with Penn State. They spread you out to be able to run the ball, and they look for those play-action passes downfield to a very good group of receivers.
Moorhead, first year at Penn State, he was the head coach at Fordham, ran a very successful offense there. I'm up with 6 yards on this 3rd down. Barkley with a quick burst. Saquon Barkley will score. And the Nittany Lions come alive. A 24-yard touchdown to cap a 70-yard drive.
A really good block by Guy in the center in the middle. Watch this block, and then watch how he splits both of these safeties. Nice job in the middle there. Pushes the nose guard out, and the acceleration to be able to get upfield and split those safeties. He's not just a powerful back. He can walk, he can run away from you, and I think there was hesitation expecting play-action pass, and he snuck up on him with his speed.
17th rushing touchdown for the guy who almost quit football before his freshman year of high school. Dad said, you know, stick with it. Give it a try. I think you might have a future. Sometimes dads know best. It's a pooch kick. Not the regular kickoff man, Big Joey Julius, but Tyler Davis trying to keep it away from Adoree Jackson. Instead, Michael Pittman collects it, and he gets it out to the 42-yard line. So good field position for the Trojans. The pooch kickoff, not really effective, as the Trojans are set up at the 40. Lead 6 points now. Darnold has it. Fires across the middle. Burnett running free. Down quickly inside the Penn State 30.
Yeah, right over the middle of that defense again. SC has found a lot of success, and it was an area that they felt that they could have success behind those linebackers. Receivers catch their attention, keeps the safety golden away, opens up the middle, and another great throw there by Darnold.
Playing with tempo after the 32-yard gain. Darnold rolls out, tosses it to the end zone, incomplete. Rodgers couldn't run it down.
He had him. Misdirection. This is the versatility that Darnold brings. He's not going to just perform from the pocket. He's comfortable there, but his athletic ability allows you to move him around, not just when it's, where he's scrambling. That's a designed boot. Rolls away. Penn State was beaten on the play. Got away that time from Apke. Just a little bit more air, and that's a touchdown.
Something that perhaps T. Martin will file away for a little bit later on in the game. There's a 2nd down run. Davis busting loose, still running. Justin Davis down inside the 5. Christian Campbell saved the score, but the Trojans are threatening.
Look at the execution up front here by Fala and Mama at the left guard. Right now, SC in an aggressive mindset. Sam Darnold already has him up, clapping, ready to get the ball into his hands again. Great execution by the line there.
24 more yards. Davis again spins back and is knocked down. You see the difference when this guy finally gets back to 100% with that ankle.
Yeah, no doubt. He brings something, a different feel. Look at the offensive line play. Look at the center Fala go up to be able to come into the linebacker and leader of that defense. And he's a different running style from Ronald Jones, who's more of a one-cut upfield. There's a lot more bounce and wiggle to Justin Davis.
And as a senior playing his final game for the Trojans, would love to cap it with a touchdown here in the Rose Bowl. 2nd and goal. Darnold rolls, fires in the flat end. Burnett just walks in. Here comes a late flag in the end zone. So hold on. Did they call a pick?
It was a pick. It's just a matter if the official was. Sometimes they let those go. Let's see what they decide on this. It was clearly
pass interference. Offense, number 9. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Smith-Schuster.
The play is designed to get the ball to exactly to Burnett, who went in motion and then came back. Keep an eye right here on number 9. You know, that it could go either way. It's a gray area. There's games that you and I have called where it doesn't get called. There's games that you and I use and you see it called.
It's a USC touchdown because the contact happened before the ball crossed the line of scrimmage. Watch number 80 where he is. Yeah, Burnett not at the line of scrimmage, Dave, so this touchdown stands.
Well, by rule, the ball has to.
There's a PAT from Burmeister. Go ahead, Dave.
The ball has to cross the line of scrimmage in order to have any kind of pass interference.
Sure.
That ball, if you look at the black line, which is close enough, did not cross the line, making that play legal. You cannot have any kind of pass interference unless the forward pass crosses the line.
I think that's what had Clay Helton so upset from the beginning. I think the play is designed to be able to catch the ball behind the line of scrimmage. So even if it is, we were talking about more, is it a screen, is it a pick? Whether or not they should have called that or not. I think Clay Helton from the very beginning that's why he's so fired up over there, is I think he felt that Burnett all along caught the ball behind the line of scrimmage, which completely nullifies any potential, as you said, pass interference on the offense.
Busy Mr. Burmeister. A short kickoff will give Sanders a chance. He'll get out near the 28-yard line. So McSorley from the pocket steps up, takes a downfield shot for Godwin, who's got it, and he's still on his feet, and he's down near the 41-yard line.
Well, Penn State is starting to find their own rhythm after the first 4 drives, 11 plays and 36 yards. The last time they had the ball was 9 plays and 70 yards, and they've been doing it by McSorley making plays. Good job of stepping up into the teeth of that defense where both the middle linebackers were coming, and it gives Godwin a chance to adjust well on the ball.
He got 29 yards. And now Barkley's loose again. Saquon Barkley says, just feed me. I got a good rhythm going.
Yeah, he's got a good rhythm when you're throwing, and then you can go back to him. I really think McSorley, with his throwing in the last drive early, starts to open things up for number 26. It's a little yin and yang between 9 and 26 in that backfield.
Till that carry, Barkley averaging 8.5 yards per carry. And Penn State feeling good about themselves, finally get something going, but then that short kickoff set SC up and boom, right down the field, and now you feel like this is developing into a shootout, but they need to keep having answers, don't they?
They sure do, right? And the guy that's starting to make plays for him is their go-to guy, Chris Godwin, number 12, making a lot of plays. And it's this man-to-man coverage he's been seeing. Right now he's across from Adoree Jackson.
Junior from Delaware, top receiver during the season for Penn State with 50 catches. Trojans bring some pressure. McSorley rolls away from it and heaves a long ball to the end zone for Godwin. Touchdown! Right on cue. He beats Adoree Jackson. This was real close. We'll take another peek. But Penn State answers the answer.
Well, that is impressive. Impressive by McSorley. His signature home run swing. Godwin get his feet down. Did he have possession of the ball? I don't know if SC, the officials want to look at this again or not. There's the right foot.
One foot got down, but had he secured the ball at that point, he's still kind of juggling it. The field judge obscures that view a little bit. So Chris Godwin And McSorley, a strong combo as Penn State moves right down the field in a minute 36. 71 yards in 4 plays, and now we got a shootout that we've been expecting.
Yeah, we've seen Sam Darnold make some plays, creating, and now we're starting to see McSorley do the exact same thing.
To feel good. Remember, he had 2 interceptions his first 2 pass attempts and couldn't get anything going, but now we're seeing one. Number 9 has been such a force the second half of the season.
It's smart to look up number 12. Now at 6'1", 205 pounds, he is the matchup concern for the SC defense.
You say forget about the pooch kick. He booted deep. Jackson fields it and takes a knee. Got a 2-back look for the first time. They hand it to Ronald Jones, or Rojo as they call him, and he's slammed down after a short gain. Trojans drive chart. Missed that field goal following the quick interception, but
pretty good.
2 touchdowns sandwiched around 2 field goals.
Pretty consistent.
They've been very efficient with their 207 yards so far. Second and 8, a slant and a catch by Rogers, and they move the chains out near the 40 in front of Grant Haley.
The motion that time by Ronald Jones moves Bell out. See Bell moves out. Look at that passing lane, an easy throw. Once Darius Rogers gets to the inside, but the play is set up by the formation and the motion by Ronald Jones to clear out the linebacker. Well-designed play there by T. Martin and Clay Helton.
Darnold on the move again, flips it downfield. Smith-Schuster comes back and makes a leaping catch at the 26. This dude can pitch it on the move, can't he?
He sure can. Has such great versatility. It's a play action away from this side of the football. That's why the safety, Golden, is so slow in getting over. His eyes were in the backfield, and Smith-Schuster sneaks behind the corner that time, Campbell.
Look at this formation. There were 4 Trojans bunched out to the left, and Burnett collects it and scoots down near the 20. It motioned Jones up to that side.
They're back into that aggressive mode.
I'd say so.
Attack, attack, attack. Not only attacking, but giving him a lot of different personnel groupings, using Adoree Jackson a lot here in this first half.
What did Clay Helton tell his staff? Drive it like you stole it. You don't often get a stolen car analogy, but he wants them to be fast, aggressive, and elusive. I guess that's what he's saying. Haven't been many flags so far. That's a false start for the Trojans.
False start. Offense. Number 74. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Clay's a Southerner. Is that an expression you've heard before? Drive it like you stole it.
No, I never heard of that one. You going to me with
they
the
know
twang?
They know what he means, evidently, and they're doing whatever he wanted today.
It's working. That time his center on that last play thought the snap count was a little bit earlier and flinched, and that's what the 5-yard penalty was.
Adoree's in the game again, motions across to the left side, gets some single coverage over there. They flip it to him, makes the catch. Jackson weaving through traffic, spinning down inside the 5.
You just want to get his hands on the ball. Little action away, gives the offensive lineman a chance to get out there. Wheeler and Mama watched it 51-72. A couple good blocks outside. Set up with a little bit of a play action look. Just get him in space and let number 2 go.
First and goal. They throw it that way again. Touchdown, Rogers. And the Trojans offense absolutely on fire right now.
Okay, this kid's had a huge year. 6'1", 215 pounds. The timing. Darnold gets the ball out. The corner, I don't care who you are. Nobody had a chance to stop that back shoulder throw by Sam Darnold. This is timing. Just work on this over and over and over. And I don't even think, honestly, Grant Haley saw the ball thrown.
Rogers 6'1" with some very long arms and very strong hands. The pylon cam gives you a good view. Darnold sharp, and these receivers, all of whom are from the local area. You got Compton and Long Beach coming together here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena and having a big afternoon. It's the Trojans up by 13 again, and a young quarterback and a receiving core on fire at the moment. This is what it's supposed to look like at the Rose Bowl. The sun bursting through the low cloud ceiling. USC feels like this is where we belong, back here for the first time after a 7-year drought, and back in front for a third time by 13 points. 4 touchdowns in the last 5.5 minutes. Kirk. If you're Penn State, you see your defense struggling, you feel like you better keep answering. Trace steps up and delivers wide open to Tompkins. This is the receiver asked to play a bigger role today with Saeed Blacknall suspended. Going to give him forward progress.
SC defenders ripping at that football. Obviously it came out. It's like Tell might have ripped that ball out after the whistle had already blown.
Harris thought he had a turnover instead. Barkley, short gain, another first down right about midfield. Penn State with 3:45 and counting to work with before halftime. The Trojans will get the ball to begin the second half, remember. One guy we haven't seen involved at all yet, Kirk, is the talented, rangy tight end Mike Gesicki. 6'6" target at 47 catches this year. Trojans have shut him out so far. Instead, it's Godwin, the go-to guy, inside the 40.
Just keep going. You got to keep getting the football to him. And I think when you not only have success throwing the football to Godwin, I think it opens up bigger opportunities down the road to guys like Gesicki. This is not a one-man show. What makes Penn State so hard to defend is you have guys like Godwin and Gesicki and Hamilton, typically Blacknall, but with Blacknall out, Tompkins. So you have 4 receivers and a tight end to complement the run game.
Barkley cannot escape. Terrific tackle there by Leon McQuay. And again, a reminder that Blacknall and Manny Bowen, the 2 Penn State players, suspended for this game, academic reasons.
McQuay comes a long way to make this play. Very aggressive safety play from USC. And if he's not there, coming all the way from the offense's left side, big, powerful Barkley's able to pick up at least 7 or 8 yards there.
Saquon was 76 yards rushing on his 12 carries. McSorley backpedals, fires into the bench. It's catch by one of the Trojan staff members on that side, but it's 3rd and 9.
That play is designed to get the ball over to the right, but boy, if he looks to the left, that was a broken coverage. And again, he had some pressure, but you have a receiver break in here to the middle. It was SC just kind of lost Tompkins that time. Look at him breaking through the middle of that SC defense. Wow. SC very fortunate that they got pressure that time on McSorley. Or if he looks over the middle of the field, that was a touchdown for Penn State.
They need 9. You wonder if Franklin would go for it on 4th down here, given the way his defense is struggling. Not in field goal range. And that one somehow caught again by Godwin. It was way behind him. He reached back with one hand.
And not only that, how about the route was up beyond the first down marker. So not only him reaching around to catch this ball, but the recognition to know where to run that route. That's his 2nd big-time catch on this drive. See the route beyond the first down marker, catches it, gets forward progress, and gets the first down.
See, pressure is picked up. Quarterback keeps it and darts forward for about a 4-yard gain.
It's an outside play where you want to read that defensive end. If he collapses down on the quarterback, you give it to Barkley. If he chases Barkley, McSorley pulls it and cuts underneath it behind the pulling guard, and that's exactly what he was able to do there for some positive yards on 1st and 10.
McSorley flips it to the end zone. Right on cue. Looks for the big tight end. Kirk, good call. Touchdown, Lions.
The big fella is a matchup concern. It's 6'6". McQuay tries to pick him up. You know it's coming. He's 6'1". He tries to deal with the bigger tight end.
SC felt pretty good about covering this big guy in space, but it's a different deal with a jump ball, right?
Yeah, down inside that 10-yard line, he's a real weapon. Catches the ball, finishes the process of the catch. Elbow is down.
On the field.
That's a touchdown.
Catch for a touchdown.
You're seeing the resilience of this Penn State team that time and time again has fallen behind. They seem to be overmatched early at times, Kirk, but they just keep answering. 568 total offensive yards in this first half. Samantha?
Well, Coach, you're obviously moving the ball well offensively, but defensively, after a strong start now, what's your priority in terms of improvement?
Well, two quarterbacks playing really good football right now, and they're making some great deep ball catches, high ball in some plays, and I know two offenses that are playing well. We'll shore things up on defense at halftime.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Coach. Let's go over to Tom Rinaldi.
Sam, thanks a lot. You've come back from being down 6 times this season. What's the key to doing it this time, especially on the defensive end, Coach?
We hate first halves. We've hated them all year long. We're still in the game. We got to make them earn a little bit more on defense. Right now, their offensive line's doing a great job of protecting the quarterbacks, way too comfortable in the pocket. We got to continue to get our playmakers the ball. Trace has done some nice things early on. I thought he struggled a little bit.
I appreciate the time, Coach.
Thank you.
They love
Chris?
second halves, though. They've outscored opponents 298 to 105 after halftime. 27-21 USC over Penn State. The Buick halftime report coming up right after these messages. Welcome back to the Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual. Set for the second half after an exciting first half that featured 48 points, almost 600 yards of offense. That guy, Sam Darnold, 3 touchdown passes for the redshirt freshman, and Trace McSorley, after a couple of early interceptions, Kirk, for Penn State, really got the passing game going, and we have the shootout you expected.
Yeah, I think you started to see Penn State able to kind of slow things down and let the game come back to them a little bit. Got their balance going after the slow start with a couple interceptions. Maybe a little shell-shocked just with the speed of the SC defense. But
it's a Penn State defense. It's gotten much better after halftime typically. What can they do to adjust and begin to make life more difficult for Sam Darnold? It looks so incredibly comfortable out there.
Yeah, they've got to get after him, and they've been trying to, but the offensive line from USC, along with Darnold's ability to improvise and buy time, that's been really what's done Penn State in. They've got to do a good job of maybe coming up with some different wrinkles. They've got to continue to pressure him. You can't let him sit back there with that arm strength and throw the ball.
Dory Jackson at the goal line. Shows that suddenness. Jackson hurdles a man, stiff arm. He's entertaining. He didn't take it to the house, but he makes it interesting.
Explosive.
Samantha?
Yeah, Chris, when Clay Helton was asked about his quarterback going into half, he simply said, wow. And I got a similar response out of former SC quarterback Mark Sanchez, who's been on the sideline. I asked him to describe for me what that it factor you've been talking about all game is. With Sam, he said he actually reminds me a lot of his quarterback with the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, where nothing is too big for him. That even though he hasn't experienced the moment before, it's like no big deal. And I can tell you he's only said about 10 words on the sideline, and yet has the full respect of his teammates. It's really impressive to watch.
Doesn't say a lot, but they listen when he talks. There's a first down handoff. Sam Darnold in the first half compared to Mark Sanchez, who threw for monster yards in the first half against Penn State back in that 2009 Rose Bowl.
But I think the difference is this kid's a freshman.
Yeah.
And there's just a feel to him. What Sam just described, there's Mark looking on, along with Marcus Allen and some of the other great USC alums. What Sam's describing, I think, has everything to do with just the players believing in him. He doesn't have to say a lot.
Running game wasn't a big part of the first half for USC. And Ronald Jones, again wearing number 4 today in honor of Joe McKnight, slips down. It'll set up a third down play.
It was a great effort there by Kabenda, keeping the edge to the defense, forcing him back to the inside where he eventually lost his footing. Watch him slide outside. Does a good job getting off of the potential block there by Fala, the center.
Kabenda was born in Orange County, Southern California, played high school football in Jersey, the commander of this defense.
Now let's see how Penn State does here on third downs of trying to get after him. We saw Darnold have a lot of success on some third and longs, keeping plays alive and finding open receivers. Penn State up tight.
Burnett comes in motion, and the ball thrown over his head. That time the Lions were all over number 80, Jordan Smith, a backup corner in coverage, and they force a punt.
I'll tell you, Jordan Smith he's been out there on an island a number of times, and he's typically stride for stride with these receivers. Now Darnold's made some good throws and converted, but do not fault Jordan Smith. That time he read the eyes of the receiver, and when he looked up for the ball, he got his head turned around. Play really never had much of a chance.
John Reed, one of the defensive backs, is the deep man. And Tilby sends a boomer that Reed will field at the 21 with the fair catch to Tom Rinaldi.
Chris, thank you very much. Talking to James Franklin on his way out of the locker room, he said he told his team, be comfortable. This is where we've been all season long. Defensively in particular, he said we have to make Sam Darnold uncomfortable. It isn't the run game, it's the pass game to get to him there. Offensively, he said, we've got to get the ball to our playmakers. Trace has settled down now. We found an offensive rhythm. But he said his most important message was, we can come back on this team. We can move the ball. You guys have done this all season long. We'll see how it manifests starting right now, Chris.
No, they sure have. It creates belief when you come back time and again after halftime. Actually outscored in the first half of the season by 23 points.
Yeah, but when they have trailed the last 4 times at halftime, they have gone on to win those games. So what Tom is saying, you're saying, there is a belief that you're never out of a game.
It's Barkley trying to bounce it. And does escape. Saquon Barkley in the clear. Still going. Saquon Barkley all the way to the end zone. Electric, 79 yards.
I mean, this is Saquon Barkley in a nutshell in one play. Plays designed to go up into the middle of the USC defense, but he bounces the ball to the outside, and then you've got 2 defenders that have a chance to make a play. Plays designed to go to the inside. He shakes tail the safety. Another safety comes up, Harris. He misses him. Then he cuts all the way back against Chris Hawkins, and then shows you the speed to take it to the end zone. What a move by that young man.
Davis does give Penn State its first lead. And James Franklin says this is what we do. This is what Barkley does. We showed you the power earlier, the lower body strength. There's the moves. Breaking some ankles and breaking off a 79-yarder. Here in the Keith Jackson Broadcast Center. We'll visit with the great man for whom this place is named momentarily. And who called 15 of these Rose Bowl. His feel and his passion for this place shaping the appreciation of so many viewers. Lions have the lead for the first time. Saquon Barkley's touchdown run. He's had 4 touchdowns in the last 4 possessions for Penn State. It's a short kickoff by Pittman for the Trojans and tackled at the 26 as we welcome in Keith Jackson. This is your first Rose Bowl you've attended since that USC Texas Classic. What brought you back today, Keith?
First any game any game.
Wow.
Since 06.
You get a special feel for these 2 programs being in this great stage.
Well, I sort of had a feeling after the 56 years that was enough, so I went and sat down in the rocking chair and stayed there for 6 years.
It's great to have you.
And then you said that you get a feel for the Penn State program and the fact that they are here, a rare appearance.
Well, we did a lot of Big Ten games and a lot of Penn State games, and Penn State has, in my mind at least, they're a team that plays hard. They play hard in the final inning. And if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to tighten up your chin strap and go dig up.
And they've shown that grit and that resilience in another comeback here. Darnold incomplete on the slant on first down as the Trojans try to answer. They flip it in the flat. And it's Adoree Jackson trying to make an impact as a receiver. Knocked down. Nice tackle right at the line there.
Oh, that is a heck of a job in the open field by Malik Golden. We've talked all night about Adoree Jackson, what he can do with the ball in his hands, and you can see he closes the gap, the ground there, goes low, and does a nice job of forcing this 3rd down play.
He's really a good player.
Yeah, electrifying.
Sets up a 3rd and 10.
Chris, this is where Darnold has made plays escaping. Remember, he had a lot of success. We talked about that a little earlier. Buying time and then finding receivers downfield. See if Penn State tries to bottle him up.
Lions rush only 4. Darnold has some time. Now escapes. And takes a downfield shot. Burnett goes up. Broken up. Well defended by Haley down there. The Lions come up with a stop.
Just talked about how he creates and makes plays. It puts a lot of pressure on your secondary. It's a heck of a job by Grant Haley of staying with Burnett, because you're trying to cover him for 5 or 6 seconds with that scramble. That goes up, and Haley finds the football, does just enough there to get involved in trying to keep Burnett away from the ball.
Keith, we may be building toward another one of those classic finishes in this place. It's a thrill to have you along for a few minutes here.
As you called so many big games in September, some of those non-conference games. I'd like to see more and more of those.
One thing that bothers me a little bit, and he comes from an old-timer down in Texas who coached a lot of football games, about the future and what the next major problem would be. And he said very quietly and firmly, too much coverage. Meaning saturation. And I think he might be right as I watch it evolve.
It's a good point.
Many would not argue. On that note, we'll say thank you once again, not only for joining us, but for what you've done over the years and what you met, and continued good health at 88. And Happy New Year to you, Keith Jackson. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. We will continue. 103rd granddaddy of them all. Lions get the ball back up 1. There's the royal wave there. We salute the Rose Queen for 2017, Victoria Castellanos, and her court, Andre Cameron, Maya Khan, Shannon Larsoul, Adam Lundy, Natalie Petrosian, and Lauren Powers. Big day for those ladies. And the Lions have the football back up by 1. Kirk, for once today, not fighting from behind. They just try to bring some pressure. McSorley steps up, takes a downfield shot for Godwin, who makes a catch and will scamper for a touchdown. Penn State's home run offense strikes again. 2 plays, 2 70-plus-yard touchdowns in the half.
That's the chance you take when you blitz as much as USC has been blitzing tonight. I mean, that's what Penn State has done to people in the second half of the season. They take shots downfield, and I think SC felt comfortable that they could match up in those situations, locate the ball and knock it away. But again, McSorley, as he's done most of this year, making big plays and giving those receivers a chance. And how about the take that Godwin has had tonight for Penn State? 9 receptions, 187 yards on the night.
Penn State saying we expect this, but you saw the stunned look on the faces of USC fans. They're down 8 now.
Well, they brought Leon McQuay, 22, from the field, and he almost is able to get to McSorley coming from his right. See the pressure. They get to the outside, but you leave the corner isolated. There's nobody behind. And if you don't locate the ball, and actually Marshall does a decent job of tipping the ball, but the extra job, the effort there by Godwin, not giving up on the play, locates the football and is able to secure it. There's Marshall, stride for stride. He's in phase. He puts that right hand up to knock it away, but he doesn't knock the ball down. Instead, it goes up, and Godwin makes the play.
No Moorhead on the right who called the plays. He took a left jab to the chest from his head coach and then a shot in the back.
That's one of those when you call it, you're kind of saying, here we go, let's see what happens. And then he hits it, and you turn over and look at him like, bang.
I'll tell you what, Kirk, as the second half story continues to unfold for this team, there's some swag that the quarterback brings. There's some swag that the play caller, Joe Moe, they call him Joe Pa so many years. Now it's Joe Moe. They were brought in the first year.
They were down 13-0, and it felt worse in the first quarter.
It did.
And it just seems to settle them in and put a little bit of anxiousness in their the entire team.
Jackson tries to answer. Never seen a second half start to any game, much less a Rose Bowl. A 79-yarder and a 72-yarder. So again, the Lions would tell us you should not be surprised with what you've seen. This is our MO all year. Darnold delivers on the slant, batted up, intercepted. Bell's got it on the deflection, rumbling down inside the 5, tackled by the quarterback. A crazy carom and everything going Penn State's way.
He just talked at the report from Tom Rinaldi. He's going into the locker room, tears in his eyes. He comes back, makes a big hit the previous play, and now he comes up with an interception. He jumps the route. How many times have you seen a quick throw? Watch him quick. Sees the quick slant, jumps to it, gets his hands on the ball, almost comes up with the interception himself, but by tipping it up into the air, it falls eventually into the hands of Bell. But Christian Campbell, the junior, creates the turnover for Penn State.
First and goal. McSorley running all the way, cuts it back and barrels in. And Penn State builds more momentum and stretches the lead to a couple touchdowns.
If you eliminate the drive at the end of the half, that's 6 straight drives now for touchdowns for McSorley in Penn State. They outnumber him with a quarterback run. Left tackle does a nice job of getting out there. Ryan Bates. McSorley's involved. Nobody picks up McSorley as Barkley ends up getting him into the end zone.
Trickiest part about that play was collecting the high snap from Gaia, which McSorley had to grab and then move in. And so a 3-yard quarterback run gives Penn State a 15-point lead. This is a team that 3 different times in the first half was down 13 points.
Who would have ever thought that 5 years later they'd be in Pasadena playing in the Rose Bowl as a 5th-ranked team, taking on USC with a 42-27 lead in the 3rd quarter.
Those players are all aware that many out there have strong negative feelings about this program, the simple, heinous nature of the crimes that Jerry Sandusky committed after he left Penn State staff. But on the premises there will always make people have mixed feelings about this, but no one involved with the program has anything to do with that.
The coaches, the players that are currently on this football team, the administration, there's nobody that's at Penn State that had anything to do with what happened. This is about James Franklin, and it's about this group of football players playing in 2016.
First down.
Darnold steps up. It's a downfield shot. Smith-Schuster trying to track it down. John Reed was in coverage.
Taking a shot, and even though you miss it there on 1st and 10, it's a smart call by T. Martin to take a shot.
Great effort here.
He had a step on him, tremendous effort, just misses him. But again, I think it sends a message to the Penn State defense that, guys, we're not just going to throw these underneath throws, these quick rhythmic throws. We're going to take some shots, and it's nice to plant a seed in that Penn State defense's mind that, it's not just about the short passing game.
Take it to Jones, and Rodgers was wide open on a slant, and Darnold missed him that time.
I think he hurried that one a little bit. I think he saw that he had him open and he had room to run, that he tried to. It was one of the few times we've seen him get out of rhythm and get the ball out almost too fast. He didn't quite give Rodgers enough chance to get out of his break and break free from the defender. That time they're just out of sync, sets up a 3rd and long.
Darnold puts it on a screen to set Ware. And Ware, plenty of room, dragged down at 32. His first touch of the evening is a big one.
Great call on 3rd down against a blitz. It's about blocking the guy in man-to-man. Right here is a man who has him. Watch what USC is able to do on 3rd down. If you can get him blocked, which they do right there, now you've got room out there because everybody else, see how they have their back turned to him because they're a man-to-man. Kaminda had the back out of the backfield. He was accounted for with the block. Have plenty of room for him to run after the catch.
Davis cuts it back. Jason Kaminda is a great example about what's right about college football.
Oh my gosh. I could not get it. I could have talked to him for 2 weeks. And he is an impressive guy. He's already made an announcement that he's going to come back to Penn State next year. A junior, the quarterback, the leader, the kind of the heart and soul in the middle of that defense.
Look at those eyes, huh?
Like a young Mike Singletary kind of guy with the intensity that he plays with.
And 2nd and 1, play action fake, touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, and the Trojans do break the 28-point run.
That is great patience that time by Sam Darnold. He pumped because he almost let the ball go, but he waited for Juju Smith-Schuster to clear. And once he cleared, he let it go to the top right. Watch Darnold's right there. He wanted to throw it, but he waited until Juju was able to clear the coverage there from Christian Campbell. Nice job there. See, watch him wait. Now he releases it once he cleared. Juju Smith gets behind Campbell pretty easily.
And now they're going to go for two. Darnold is on the field. Look at this formation. A whole bunch of folks off to the left. Quarterback in the shotgun takes it, rolls out, slips as he cuts, and now just flips it into the end zone to McNamara for the two-point conversion.
I don't think it was designed that way,
you know,
but it worked out. I think he wanted to run it in or throw it to his other tight end.
He said he was a great point guard, right?
That was, and then he just kind of, just almost like he's in practice, just kind of flipped it to McNamara for the two-pointer.
Rolls out, yeah, slips right here. 48 says, I'm open, here you go.
It worked.
So an 8-point touchdown drive for the Trojans, who cut it back to 7. We having fun in the Rose Bowl this evening. Lions turn next. USC for the first time this year converts on a two-point try. They tried one and failed. Penn State hadn't faced a two-point try all season. The 65-yard touchdown drive cuts the Penn State lead to 7. The Lions offense goes back on the field after having scored touchdowns on each of their last 4 plays.
Say that again after this.
This is Miles Sanders. Looks his way. And 4 consecutive plays. Don't think he got the thing won because you're up 15 a minute ago. McSorley pressured. Escapes and flips it to Barkley. Very close to the line of scrimmage when he flipped that pass to the running back, who gets out to the 40 and is slow to get up.
He put the linebacker Cameron Smith in a tough spot here, who's in coverage. Watch him. He slips back. McSorley basically forces him to either cover Barkley or take me as the quarterback. Watch him up here at the top, right here. He decides I'm going to come off of Barkley, take the quarterback, and that's what opened up the throw that time to Barkley out of the backfield.
So Barkley being looked at, and Mark Allen comes in, number 8.
Smaller, but really quick. 5'6", 180 pounds.
He's got it, but nowhere to run. Heavy traffic. Your guy Stevie T clogged it up.
Stevie T, 6'1", 320. We talked a lot about him going up against Gaia in the middle. And he is, again, the transfer from Utah, holds the point. Look at him extend his arms, gets off of Gaia. Not only is he eating up blocks, but he's making plays at the line of scrimmage.
Tuipulotu and Gaia is fun to watch. We talked about the 2 big, strong veterans tested each other this afternoon. That round to Stevie T. Barkley back in the game. Trojans show some pressure. McSorley picks it up at the last second and shows his improvisational skills. Slides down for a short gain, and the Trojans hit him. Chris Hawkins, the safety, hit the quarterback after he slid. It'll be 15.
It starts with another safety blitz from McQuay. He almost blew the play up in the backfield, but great effort by McSorley.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Let's see McQuay get in there. McSorley somehow gets out of there. Boy, that is a very mild hit there at the end from Hawkins. I mean, he's down, but my gosh, I don't know. A little ticky-tack to me.
Hawkins agrees, but he gave himself up there. And moves the ball to the 45. McSorley again pressured, somehow slips away and flips it on the far side to Barkley, who's wide open. Flag comes in as Saquon spins down at the 32, and that'll cost Penn State some yards.
There is no foul on the play. The pass was behind the line of scrimmage when the contact occurred downfield. First down.
Clay Helton can smile. Remember that is the replay ruling on the touchdown that they got. Contact with the ball behind the line. So Barkley's catch moves the ball to the 31.
In this case, he was way behind the line, about 4 yards, but very good job by McSorley keeping the play alive, and then the awareness to find his check down. The other thing Joe Moorhead is doing along with McSorley, they're changing up their tempos. Sometimes they're going fast to try to get an idea of what kind of coverage they're facing in a blitz. Other times they're looking over, trying to get SC to tip their hand.
And Barkley downhill and down inside the 10.
Boy, we just talked about Smith going out at 245 pounds. Watch the freshman alignment, the right guard McGovern, get up to him. Boom, locks up on him. Look at that, that's a different block for McGovern, blocking a 200-pound guy versus going up against a guy 245 pounds. So the first play without Smith, big yards right up the middle by Barkley.
110-pound difference in those two guys, and the guard won that one. First and goal. Lions trying to go up by 2 touchdowns again. McSorley running, whoop, passing, touchdown. Barkley. That's not improvisation. That's planned all the way. But Saquon gets in the end zone as a receiver.
A great job. They've run the football in the same look with McSorley, with Barkley leading the way. They give him the same look. Here he goes. He's going to block. Nope. He's going to go right around him and pick up the touchdown. See, the safety loses his footing because he was fooled. McQuay, perfect job. Right time to call it by Moorhead. Catches him off guard, and a good throw and good execution by McSorley.
PAT, the prettiest, but it gets through. Barkley has run it for 180 and a couple touchdowns, and now caught 5 passes for 55 yards and a touchdown. Dory Jackson is very competitive, extra competitive after the SC defense gets beat. He tries to come right back and make a play as a returner to reverse momentum. He's dancing around looking for space. Finds some. A flag comes in as he's dragged down short of the 30. This will negate the return. Jackson down on the field grabbing his leg. Grimacing.
He looked like his leg got stuck underneath when he was getting tackled. Right there.
Out of respect, a lot of Penn State players who are right near where he's being treated kind of on one knee, showing support. Don't want to diagnose what we're seeing, but this may be a postscript on what's been a brilliant career.
I think he's the most versatile player in the country, personally. And again, I know Jabril Pepper's got a lot of attention. You talk about impacting a game and being an electrifying player in so many different ways. He really, again, he's been as good as there is this year in the sport.
So Darnold and the Trojans, after the penalty, pinned back at the 9, down 14. Burnett slips a tackle and dives forward. You see Jackson get injured, Kirk, and it brings up the issue that's been a hot button topic with Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey passing on their bowl games with the draft in mind, and certainly no USC player is going to ever pass up on an opportunity to play in a Rose Bowl.
No.
But it is a big issue. Jake Butt of Michigan, the tight end, an ACL injury suffered in the Orange Bowl against Florida State.
I think players that have a bright future, not only this year but moving forward, they're going to have to decide about their individual careers and finishing things off with their team. And ultimately, which way do you lean? What's more important to you? Is it more about your career? And if you feel that way, you need to sit out. And if you feel like, man, I just want to have one more chance to play with my guys, then you play.
Either way, do you respect the decision as an individual one?
You have to respect whatever a player decides. I don't agree with it personally. I think you could get injured anytime.
The end of a crazy third quarter. A quarter in which Penn State scored touchdowns on their first 3 plays of the third. Yeah, he was down before the ball came out, but the Trojans are down by 14 heading to the 4th.
The 49 to 35. The big concern from Trojan fans and, well, football fans altogether is Adoree Jackson. A lot of people fearing he injured his knee. That is not the case. It is his right ankle. They took the shoe off and the socks off, retaped that ankle, put the socks back on. When he tried to put his shoe back on, he had a hard time doing it, was in a lot of pain. He tried to run up and down the sideline, still having pain, Chris. We'll see if he's able to come back in.
Now Darnold pressured immediately, throws it dangerously over the middle, and Smith-Schuster off the carom makes the catch, and they move the sticks. Wow.
Boy, they brought Cabinda. Cabinda gets in there. Garrett Sickles gets in there. And that was a freshman decision to throw that ball and just hope over the middle, and it floats over the top of one receiver and then into the hands of Juju Smith-Schuster. So USC on third down, big risk and chance by the young quarterback, and somehow it pays off, lands in the arms of their talented receiver, number 9.
You could see maybe some desperation in that throw. He got hit hard, was a little shaky after the play. Throw a slant, and it's a short gain to Burnett. Again, the man who scored a couple of touchdowns tonight.
It's a little thing, but a good job. This guy, I tell you, he's got such poise. It was another run-pass option. And that linebacker blitzed. He saw him as he put the ball into the stomach of his running back. He pulled out of that, hit the quick slant right behind the blitz. Little thing, but it sets up a 2nd and 4 instead of running into a blitz.
Lions bring the blitz again, and Darnold delivers to Burnett again, and makes the catch at the Penn State 41.
You need arm strength to make this throw. You're squeezing this throw between a linebacker and a safety, and the safety is closing in on the receiver. He has to throw that on a line because Burnett has to make the catch and then get down as Golden is about to lower the boom. Great throw and a good job of getting it out quickly by Darnold.
Trojans finally over 100 yards rushing, but it's taken a long time to get there. Darnold now loops it for Smith-Schuster. Terrific catch, but he's out of bounds. Incomplete. Running stride for stride with John Reed.
Boy, I'd love to take a look at this. That was a rainbow. How about the accuracy on the fade? Does he get a foot down? I mean, oh my gosh, that was close at right foot. Watch this right. Is his foot still down when he has the ball? That's a catch. That's a catch at the 5-yard line.
It has been shown on the screen, and the Trojan fans who already feel slighted by the officials certainly agree. They're hollering.
They're going to get this. That's a perfectly thrown football by Sam Darnold.
The receiver's right foot was inbounds when the ball was possessed, and 1st and goal at the 3-yard line.
Trojans enjoy that verdict a lot more than the last one. So Smith-Schuster on that gorgeous throw from Darnold sets him up at the 3.
Yeah, we first guessed on that one. It would look like his foot was down, and in fact they confirmed that the right foot was down. Tremendous effort on the back end by Juju Smith-Schuster, but the throw by Sam Darnold was ridiculous. He gets hit as he throws it by Kevin Givens. He can't even really fully follow through because he gets hit, and he drops a dime right on the head of Juju Smith-Schuster to give him a chance to make that catch. Big time by Darnold.
Jones. Touchdown SC. Rojo caps off an eventful drive for USC that covered 83 yards in 10 plays and featured a conversion on 3rd down and a carom reversal and a great catch, and finally a short touchdown run.
Nice seal block by Rodgers, number 1, comes right here, picks it up, sets him, gives him a chance to get around and walk into the end zone for a touchdown. And boy, this one's setting up for a really, really exciting finish with 8:15 to go.
Boermeister to make it a 7-point game with 8:15 to play. Now it's been an evening for offense. Spectacular throws, spectacular catches. That one by Smith-Schuster gets the Trojans back within a touch. What a fun way to spend a Monday night. Pasadena, the highest scoring Rose Bowl game in history. 91 combined points, a dozen touchdowns. And the Trojans get a crucial score to draw within 7. We're able to get a stop. The last time Penn State had the football, that snapped a streak of 7 consecutive drives. Penn State had scored touchdowns. Saquon Barkley is back deep to receive the kickoff. Not one of his usual chores. Takes it at the goal line. Saquon slipped as he made a cut and is knocked down at the 25. There's Tuipulotu, the big man in the middle. They hand it to Barkley, and Stevie T and crew clog it up. McSorley is a born winner, a high school guy that won state championships as a freshman, sophomore, and junior. They came up just short in his senior season. Reminder that Jan 9, Tigers in the Tide on ESPN. He's a good lacrosse player. Remember he told us yesterday, his lacrosse coach said, you know what, you're not going to really be a big-time college football player.
You're never going to get a Division
so maybe focus on lacrosse.
You're never going to get a Division I scholarship. So
that stuck with him and motivated him.
Until yesterday. I mean, right now. I mean, that definitely motivated him. They're working his play clock, which is a smart thing to do. SC still has all 3 timeouts left.
Trojans are crowding the line. Barkley gets the edge, bounces it, and barrels for a first down. The middle was clogged. Saquon says, I'm heading out to the right end.
A nice feel here by Barkley. We saw him earlier. You're going to see a block coming out here from the outside from Godwin, the receiver, that kind of seals it. But this play's designed, there's nothing in the middle. There's the instincts to be able to bounce that to the outside and get it out away from Powell, the inside linebacker, who again is in for Cameron Smith. But the instincts, the vision, and the patience, once again, from Saquon Barkley.
It's been a shootout, all the dozen touchdowns we've talked about, but now the 2.5-minute mark, every yard, every first down becomes precious.
And every second.
Yep. That was a sticky exchange between McSorley and Barkley. They do feed it to the tailback. Short gain.
And SC bringing that safety, McQuay, who they have blitzed a lot. SC uses their first timeout.
3 receivers matched up to the left. Barkley to the right. Saquon's got it. Cuts it back and is brought down at the 42. Good tackle by Nwusu. But now the Trojans spend a timeout. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, so you pick up big yards with your most talented player with Barkley. At least you now are in a position where you want to be at 3rd down and what is it, about 4?
Yeah, exactly.
So now, James Franklin's going to come over there because it comes down to this. If you run the football and you come up short, you make USC use their last timeout, more than likely. And now you're going to punt the ball away and see if Sam Darnold can go 80 or 85 yards with no timeouts and about a little under 2 minutes to go. Or do you tell McSorley, who's made great decisions for the most part, not just tonight, the last 9 games, do you say, hey, look, if it's there, take it. If not, let's pull it down and run. Let's see. Or again, you can give it to Barkley as well, who's your best player, and see if you can pick up the first down on the ground.
Lions fans would say this is poetic justice. If we could convert on a 3rd down and perhaps seal a Rose Bowl victory. After all the struggles they've had on 3rd down this season, overcoming that to be a high-scoring offense.
Man-to-man from USC. Got to expect blitz from the Trojans here.
They bring the heat, and Barkley escapes. But not for long. He slips down behind the line of scrimmage. Michael Hutchings makes a huge tackle for loss, and it is 4th down.
Well, Hutchings does a good job of getting to the outside. As I said, Clancy Pendergast decides to bring the blitz with Harris, 27. From the outside, they came from the field, which is exactly where Penn State is running. You'll see a blitz come here. That initially forces Barkley to the outside, and boy, what a good job by the senior middle linebacker, 19, Hutchings, making sure he gets to the outside, not giving Barkley a chance to turn the corner where he's had a ton of success.
So Blake Gillikin, the true freshman, will be sent on to punt. And for USC, we've got a 3rd different punt returner. It was, of course, Adoree Jackson in that familiar role. He's out injured. Then Burnett took a turn. And now, Kirk, it's Jack Jones, the true freshman corner who's played pretty well tonight, sent back at his 20-yard line.
Make a good decision, depending on how deep this punt is for the true freshman.
Take it back. It's Darius Rogers, the other number 1, who watches that one sail over his head and into the end zone. So a touchback, a huge boot from Gillikin. And here comes Sam Darnold, the redshirt freshman who took over when the Trojans were 1-2. Had a big ball game tonight. Can he put together one more drive?
This is kind of what you thought might happen. His ability to create has been so big, whether it's scrambling for yards or more. What we've seen is buying time, working through his progression. See pocket presence here, just throwing a dart on the line between a linebacker and a safety. The touch where he can't follow through to Juju Smith-Schuster down that right sideline. So the ball is in his hands. He doesn't have any timeouts, and he's got to go 80 yards to tie this football game up in just under 2 minutes.
Traffic in the pocket. Darnold escapes, flips it across the middle, and a fingertip catch made on the sidelines across the 30 by Smith-Schuster.
Magician working in that pocket, getting away from the pressure. And what you really have to appreciate from a freshman is his ability to keep his eyes downfield, stay poised, not panic, and then eventually find an open receiver. And he gets out of bounds.
There's a pass across the middle. Yamato Bebe, the tight end, has a first down. The clock will stop momentarily to move to 6 at the 43.
2 plays, 2 first downs. Obviously not getting out of bounds. A little bit more urgency. This is where you really, if you haven't seen Sam Darnold play, keep in mind he's a freshman and watch him play with the confidence and poise.
There's a looping throw, incomplete, and a flag. Jordan Smith was in coverage against Burnett. Didn't turn his head though, face guarding.
He does not get his head turned around.
Number 12, 15-yard penalty, first down.
The combination of contact and not getting his head turned alerts the official to a pass interference call.
So 2 completions and a penalty, and now the Trojans just 42 yards away from the end zone and a tying touchdown.
3 plays and 3 first downs for SC.
Darnold tries far side again. Haley in coverage, didn't turn around, and again draws a flag.
Yeah, you got to locate the football, and Haley didn't turn his head around until the last possible second. By then, the ball was already past him, and Rodgers was working to get to the ball.
Pass interference, defense, number 15, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
See Haley at the last second turn, but by then he's already prevented Rodgers from being able to get to the football. Another pass interference, 2nd in a row by Penn State.
Dangers of man coverage, huh?
Yeah, you're living out on an island against some pretty talented receivers and a really accurate and talented quarterback.
Ball at the 27 now.
Remember, Matter Bebe, the tight end, is a big factor over the middle. He's right here.
Darnold has a lot of time. Flies over the middle. Touchdown! Deontay Burnett with the hat trick. Seconds. The Trojans, with some help from 2 penalties on Franklin's typically lightly penalized team, tie it with the PAT. We still got a minute 20 for Penn State's offense now.
This Sam Darnold is about as good a quarterback as you're going to see in college football. The kid is a freshman. He just went right down the field and ends up coming up with a big play. Watch this throw though, Chris. Look at the safety right here, and you're going to tell me that you're going to make a throw over here with confidence? How does he make this throw with that coverage? And throws a dime right over top of the linebacker Cam Brown and between the safety Marcus Allen.
Some people are born to do things, right? Some people
absurd.
Some people are put on this earth to do one thing. He is a born quarterback, huh?
He might be a lot of other things, but on the football field, he's in a different galaxy.
And Saquon, his kick returner. McSorley wouldn't have it any other way, too, Kirk. He says, give me the ball and a chance to go win this game. Lions have 2 timeouts to work with. Barkley has some space. Tries to cut it back. Still alive over there. An excellent return sets up the Lions at the 35 with 1:09 to go. Barkley. Now what do you do if you're Joe Moorhead? Penn State's offense was flying up and down the field. Stopped the last couple times. No points so far in the 4th quarter. And not a lot of urgency here. Is Franklin content to lull him to sleep, take a downfield shot here,
Just brought
go for
Godwin,
overtime?
just moved Godwin all the way down to the bottom.
McSorley rolls, heaves it downfield, has a man wide open. It was late and almost picked off as Leon McQuay came charging across. Wow.
Well, as you said, Chris, he was late. He actually got behind Jones, who's been lost in coverage, a true freshman, number 1. Watch one off to the right. He kind of gets lost again, but because of the pass rush, he can't really step into it. Floats it up there, and McQuay, the senior, should have stepped in front of that and intercepted it.
Gesicki did not step back to the ball and fight for it either. He kind of waited for it to come to him. So 3rd and 9. Incompletion here. The Lions will have to punt the ball away. Another downfield shot. Godwin. And it is intercepted this time by McQuay. Down the sidelines and knocked out. With 27 seconds to go, the Trojans can win it in regulation. Live with the home run ball all year, perhaps die with it tonight.
You live with the sword, die with the sword. That play has worked for them, not just tonight, but most of the year. He telegraphed it. He told you it was coming. He thinks his guy's better than you. He believes his guy's going to make the catch. Here he is, a safety. He knows it's coming. He's staring him down. It's about who's going to get up to the football. And McQuay, who just dropped the interception, this time times up the leap perfectly, and not only comes up with the interception, but returns it all the way to the 33-yard line and gives Darnold the ball with 27 seconds, no timeouts.
Well, you've played the position under pressure. It looked like McSorley squeezed that ball. That did not come out pretty, that pass at all. Jones, a run. And they got to get the team out there quickly if they're going to kick a field goal or spike it.
Darnold's going to fire it here. You didn't expect him just to kill the clock.
15, 14, 13.
You're just going to set it up here from the left hash.
I'll tell you what. This is a great deal of trust in a field goal kicker.
45-yarder from the left hash.
Matt Bormeister, the junior, been very accurate, 15 of 20 coming into this game, but he has missed a couple of long ones. Didn't make one from 44 along with a 22-yarder. Missed a 51-yarder early and also a 49-yarder. I went to junior college. Comes from San Diego. And for a win, a walk-off Rose Bowl winner from 46 yards to cap an incredible comeback. It's good. USC wins it. The left foot of Matt Bormeister is the final word of a Rose Bowl game that we'll never forget. But the right arm of Sam Darnold was the most important component to this comeback victory. SC outscores Penn State 17-0 in the 4th quarter. Samantha Ponder with Clay Helton.
Well, Coach, you said it was a dream to be in this game. What's it like to win it?
Glory to God. He's watched after this team all year and watched after us one more time. What a valiant effort by a group of young men and a staff. I can't tell you how proud I am of them in this atmosphere.
Coach, the last time I saw you was at that Alabama game in Dallas. What would you have said if I told you you'd be here tonight?
Believe in the men that surround you. They did the job tonight, and we're Rose Bowl champions, the granddaddy of them all.
Coach, can I ask you about your quarterback real quick? Because I had to remind myself that he's a freshman. I don't think he smiled or showed any emotion the entire game, despite what he was doing out there. How do you describe what you saw from him?
Just truly special and poised. Played way beyond his years. Thank goodness he's a Trojan.
An incredible year for you and your team. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Chris?
My God,
What a privilege to watch this game.
Just an amazing performance, a great game. And the way they ended the season, both these teams, fitting that it ended up 52-49.
Brett Musburger, Jesse Palmer, Haley Hartung, the All-State Sugar Bowl coming up now from the Superdome.